Namaskar. Welcome to the session on subject economics for class 12th students. I am Ankit Kumar, PGT Economics from PM Sri Kendriya Vidyalaya BSF Khajwala. In this session, we will study the topic money creation by commercial banking system. Earlier, you must have studied about money and money supply. Now, we will study about commercial banking system. As you know, study of commercial banks is not included in our syllabus. Only money creation by the commercial banking system is part of our syllabus. So in this video lecture, we will study about money creation and money multiplier. Let's learn together. As we all know, basic measure of money supply has two components, currency and demand deposits. The Reserve Bank of India is the only institution which can issue currency in India. Commercial banks cannot print money, but they influence the money supply through the process of credit creation using demand deposits. Now the question is that what is meant by credit creation? The power of commercial banks which enables them to expand their deposits through loans is called credit creation. It results in multiple expansion of banks' demand deposits. Money creation by the bank is determined by two things. First thing is amount of initial deposits. Banks have two types of demand deposits. First, primary deposits and second, secondary deposits. Cash deposits received by the bank from the public are called primary deposits or initial deposits. When bank gives loan to a person, it deposits the sanctioned amount of loan in his account. And such accounts are termed as secondary deposits. Secondary deposits are the result of primary deposits. Thus, secondary deposits are also called credit deposits. Second thing is legal reserve ratio or reserve deposit ratio. It is legally compulsory for the banks to keep a minimum amount of their deposits as reserves. That fraction is called legal reserve ratio. Now question is that why deposits are kept as cash reserves? Let's start with basic function of commercial banks. Commercial banks accept deposits, they give interest on these deposits, they provide loans. Deposits held by banks are used for giving loan. They lend money and earn interest for making interest payments of deposits and meeting their expenses. After that, whatever is left is their profit. They also give instant withdrawal facility to its depositors. That means whenever depositors want money back, they can go to bank and get the money. Don't you think that these two things clash with each other? If they keep their entire money with them, how will they give loans? This clash is removed by a simple practice. The practice is that banks do not use the whole deposit for lending. They keep a certain fraction of their deposits as reserves. This fraction is called the reserve deposit ratio or legal reserve ratio. Why only fraction of deposits is kept as cash reserves? Because banks know two things by his experience. Number one, all the depositors do not approach to the bank for withdrawal of money at the same time. Number two, there is a constant flow of new deposits into the banks for the smooth functioning of the process of credit creation. Here are some assumptions. First, the entire commercial banking system is one unit and is termed as bank. Second, all receipts and payments in the economy are routed through the banks. Let's talk about the process of credit creation. Money creation is a process by which a commercial bank creates total deposits number of times the primary deposits. Total credit creation is equal initial deposit into 1 upon legal reserve ratio. Let's understand this process of credit creation through an example. Suppose initial deposit in banks is Rupee 1000 and legal reserve ratio is 20%. So there are two parts, public and bank. A person has rupee 1000. He deposits rupee 1000 in bank. The legal reserve ratio is 20%. Bank will keep 20% of deposits as reserve, that is rupee 200. Remaining part is 80%, that is 800 rupees. Bank will lend this money to someone who have applied for loan. Now this money, rupee 800, is with public. Those who borrow will spend this money and same 800 rupees will come back to the bank in the form of deposit. Bank will keep 20% of this amount as reserve, that is 160 rupees. Remaining part is 640 rupees. Bank will lend this money. Now these 640 rupees are with public. Again, those who borrow will spend. These rupees will be deposited to bank. Now bank will keep 20% of this amount as reserve, that is 128 rupees. 512 rupees is remaining part. Bank will lend this money also. Now these 512 rupees are with public. Again, those who borrow will spend. Once again, 512 rupees will be deposited to bank. Now bank will keep 20% of this amount, that is 102 rupees and 40 paisa as reserve. 409 rupees 60 paisa is remaining part. Bank will lend this money. This will further raise the deposits with bank. In this way, deposits will go on increasing at the rate of 80%. Credit creation comes to end when total cash reserves become equal to initial deposits. Now I will explain the same example with the help of table. First round starts with initial deposits. In this example, initial deposits is 1000 rupees. Bank will keep 200 as reserve and remaining 800 will lend. In the second round, 800 will become deposit. Reserve will 160 rupees and loan will 640 rupees. In third round, deposit will 640 rupees, reserve will 128 rupees and loan will 512 rupees. In fourth round, these 512 rupees will become deposit and its 20%, that is 102 rupee and 40 paisa will reserve and rest 409 rupee and 60 paisa will loan. The process will come to end when total reserve will become equal to initial deposit. In our example, it is 1000 rupees. At each stage, reserve are 20% and loans are 80%. So total loans will also be 4 times of the total reserve. Now total reserves are 1000, so total loans will be 4000. Total credit creation will be 5000 rupees. Total credit creation is equal to initial deposit into 1 upon legal reserve ratio. That is 1000 into 1 upon 20% equal to 1000 into 1 upon 0.2 equal to 1000 into 5 equal to 5000 rupees. Let's learn one more important point of this process, that is money multiplier. Money multiplier is the number by which total deposits can increase due to a given change in deposits. Money multiplier is equal 1 upon legal reserve ratio. We can say that credit creation is equal to the initial deposit into money multiplier. Let's learn about the role of money multiplier in determining credit creation. The credit creation depends on money multiplier. There is direct relationship between money multiplier and credit creation. Lower the money multiplier, lesser will be the credit creation, and higher the multiplier, more will be credit creation. Example of direct relationship between money multiplier and credit creation is, if initial deposit is rupee 1000 and money multiplier is 5, credit creation will be 5000. In second situation, multiplier is 2, which is lower than first one. Total credit creation will be 2000, which is less than last condition. Thus, any decrease in multiplier will decrease the credit creation. Now we will study about role of legal reserve ratio in determining credit creation. Credit creation is inversely related to the legal reserve ratio. Higher the legal reserve ratio, lesser will be the credit creation and vice versa. Let's take an example of inverse relationship between legal reserve ratio and credit creation. If initial deposit is 1000 and legal reserve ratio is 20%, the credit creation will be 5000. If legal reserve ratio increases to 50%, the credit creation will be 2000 rupees, which is less than last situation. Thus, any increase in legal reserve ratio will decrease the credit creation power of banking system. Now, we will conclude the process of credit creation in short. If a customer deposits 1000 rupees in a bank and legal reserve ratio is 20%, then multiplier will be 5. In this situation, the bank will create a deposit of 5000 rupees using its power of credit creation. That's all. Thank you.